just throw this in real quick. And anyway, it might be odd, but one question, because you threw a question to us, so not a long question at all, but just, and I'll even give my answer first so I can kind of explain what I'm saying. Because I do agree, discussion, iron sharpening iron, that is great. That's what we need to do. We need to do, oh goodness, the social media where people will build straw men and then tear them down and say, "Ha, I'm right and you're wrong." That's crazy. That's not good. If there is a question I want to throw, if you don't mind, to both of y'all, if because I mean I'm the dispensationalist here, I'm the odd man out in a sense, but if there was one point that could change y'all's position to become dispensationalists, what would it be? But let me answer the question first. If y'all don't want to answer, that's fine. Because I want just a real simple deal. For me to change from being like a dispensationalist, I would have to see in Scripture, because like you said, I should be open to change my position. We all should be. Scripture should be able to change our minds. I would have to be able to see something that, really pointed out that there is, that the church was Israel, and Israel is the church, and that there's no distinction between the second coming and what I would say is a rapture. So I'm not asking y'all to give me answers on, those 2 points, but I'm saying that's what I would have to see. Is there something in y'all's mind that y'all would say, if I could see this in Scripture, I would become a dispensationalist?
You want me to go first, Joseph?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Jay.
Yeah. So I would have to, I don't want to sound rude or condescending here, but I would have to almost have several texts in Scripture just sort of removed, like Galatians 3:6, Galatians 3:29, Ephesians 3, I think 7, 1 Peter 2:9 and 10, Romans 9:6-8, just a lot of texts that maybe I'm going to take a shot at Joseph as well, because Joseph is Pedo-Baptist, whereas I'm Baptist. God's people is not something that I see according to flesh or inheritance or anything like that, which is why I'm a Baptist, right? I don't baptize my children because I don't assume that they're part of God's people or in God's covenant just because they're my biological children, which also tells me, that God's people are not merely according to the flesh, right? God has one people. It's not, again, I'm not trying to straw man. I know that dispensationalists have told me this is, but it's what they've told me. And I'm like, well, I don't know what to do with the information you're giving me other than to conclude, it sounds like you're saying God has two peoples. And I haven't been shown anything otherwise, right? To the contrary, when I come to that conclusion. When we are grafted in, right, like Romans 11 talks about the Gentile. Oh, I'm sorry, not or is it Romans 11? Hold on, I'm confusing. I was about to say Romans 13. So we're grafted into this one same tree, right? And so it's always been about one family of the faith, one group, not different promises for these children of God and then other promises for these children of God. We are all co-heirs. So I mean, I don't mean to make it a super long answer, but I think that would be the biggest thing for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Jay. I will say one like kind of plant a seed in your mind based on what you said, and then I'll answer your question. So just on the distinction, you're saying you'd want to see something which says the church is Israel. My position, super briefly, is that the Israel was two things, like simultaneously. It was a nation and it was a church, and that nation, I believe, that's why you have Moses and Aaron, right? That nation, I believe, continues to the present day, and that's what Romans 11 refers to in terms of the Jews coming back. I believe there is a physical reference, but I also believe that there is also a spiritual reference, and at times in Scripture that's referred to that. So the physical nation was under Moses, and the ecclesiastical nation, if you like, was under Aaron and the priests, and that priesthood's become Christ's priesthood. That the Zion of that Israel is now, Mount Zion, and that's what, Gentiles are counted as born into. So that Zion, that Israel, continues in the church, and it existed before the spiritual nation. And a couple of books I'd recommend on this, just throwing it out there for the audience. One would be Aaron's Rod Blossoming by George Gillespie. Another would be Moses and Aaron by Thomas Goodwin. They're both Puritan works, but they make that distinction. I think that would solve a lot of the talking past each other I've noticed between the Reformed and Dispensationalists. Now you ask, what would make me a Dispensationalist? It kind of depends what you want me to do, because modern dispensationalists, I don't know if you fall into this camp, Luke. I don't think so, but maybe you do. The leaky dispensationalists will say that dispensationalism is only simply a recognition of there's a distinction between the church and Israel. Well, I already affirmed that, but I'm still not a dispensationalist, because I know that dispensationalism is asking me to do other things that the leaky dispensationalists don't want to admit to. I mean, they will say it, but they won't say it's the essence of dispensationalism. I can affirm, there'll be a future restoration of the Jews and all these things, but what they want me to say is, no, there's going to be another temple and things like that. Well, if it's those things, I don't see them in Scripture. But if you're going to show me like an Old Testament prophecy of, hey, this is prophesying after many days, that physical nation of Israel is going to come back, and not necessarily into the land. I'm not 100% sure I'm on that. But if you're going to say they're going to be saved, yeah, I can affirm that. But then if you're going to say that temple is a physical one, as we talked about, I won't go there. So it really depends. Is there anything that's asking me to take away something from the new covenant and go back in some sense to the old? If that's what's being asked of me, then I wouldn't do it. If it's simply affirming, according to the literal sense, that, this has a national reference, a lot of times I will, just as I think there are references to non-Israelite nations such as Japheth. There are promises to Ham. So I'm not an exclusivist. I believe that lots of references. But yeah, that's pretty much how I'd see it and answer your question. So,
yeah. Another beautiful day. Hey, I'm glad you're here. You listen to Providence Perspective because you believe Christ is King, not just over your soul, but over everything, including your finances. That's why Dominion Wealth Strategists exists, to help Christian families take dominion, build wealth, and advance God's kingdom. Whether it's budgeting, debt management, retirement planning, or estate planning, Dominion Wealth equips you with the strategies to reduce your donation to Caesar and maximize your gift to God. This isn't just about mere financial stability. It's about building a legacy that advances Christ's reign on earth. As independent agents, Dominion Wealth works for you, leveraging the best tools and services to help you build, protect, and pass on wealth, all for God's glory. The future belongs to Christ and His people. Start building the capital that you and your children will boldly deploy. Book your free consultation at www.reformed.money and take dominion over your finances. From baptism to burial, Dominion's got you covered. Once again, that's www.reformed.money to book a complimentary consultation today. And tell them Jay from Providence Perspective sent you.